Yes. Yes, her tits were being held up by 2 statues. And that's it.
I couldn't get over it. Every time it came on the screen, it's like... If like
they were big.
If there was a new dude that was trying to get like a part of like simp culture, and they were like, "Take me to your leader," it's the guy holding Aphrodite's tit in his hand.
All right, guys. Record of Ragnarok. It is a Netflix original anime series. It actually came out in June of 2021, so it's relatively new.
And what I found out is it's an adaptation of a popular manga, actually.
No idea.
There have been people clamoring for like an anime version of this manga. So a lot of people were looking forward to this.
I was going into it with a little bit of hesitation. Ryan had seen it a little bit before I did and, spoke very nicely of it. Not according to the internet, though.
No.
You say they're unpleasant.
There are 2 camps. There are anime-onlys who've watched this, and there are manga fans who watch the anime.
That just like
universally,
it like a fanboy.
if you read the manga, you probably didn't like this. And anime only, I didn't read the manga. It was pretty good to me. It really was.
Okay, so let's assume that it follows the manga. So it is every 1,000 years, humans are in a competition to survive. They basically, the gods decide if the humanity is worth sticking around.
Do they earn the right to survive another 1,000 years?
I thought that was pretty neat.
I did too.
We learned that, obviously, so the decision was to make the tournament one and final tournament, the best of the best, any time period, any place in the world or universe. Gods fight humanity.
Yep.
And then this will decide so that every 1,000 years it doesn't happen. First season, there's going to be, I think, 9 or 10 fights total. 10.
I think it's 10.
I think so. And then this first season took it's 12 episodes.
And it's only 3 fights.
3 fights. So they give the time for each one.
And real quick about the episode count, I was really worried that when you introduce something like this so quick and you get right into the action, I was worried that these fights were going to be meaningless and I was going to have no connection to any of these characters because we're getting right into... There's no build-up like a normal series does. This show is the fights. And I'm like, well, if your show is the fights, how are you going to make me care?
Right.
So it leads us to the first fight in the series.
Which is Lubu, the greatest fighter of all time, versus Thor. We all know and love Thor.
I like the rendition of Thor.
Definitely different. Yeah. I would say, if anything, see how the artist made people and how they pictured them, which I thought was neat because Mjolnir was...
Man, it was like a living organism.
Yeah, it was definitely a living thing. That fight was cool. What the series actually did was honestly, at the end, there wasn't a ton of fighting.
No.
It was a lot of
stills
build up
panning.
Well, yeah, but like it was really in between the fight that you're watching because they actually gave the times of the fights at the end, how long they lasted. But they actually gave the backstory on Lubu. Because when
that first fight started, I was like, none of this matters to me.
Right.
And then it told a little bit of Lubu's story. I'm like, okay, all right, well, that
so
makes
you gained
care.
to like him, and you've picked one to root for.
I did, yeah.
And no matter, you might have liked the god at that time, or you might have liked the human at the time. Just because we're a part of humanity doesn't mean we need to root for it.
Thoughts about that fight? Did you like it?
Oh, I did. I thought it was neat. The end was cool when Lubu actually broke his legs from stopping Mjolnir.
And I like the fact that Thor in victory was like, no, he was actually a really good opponent.
Yeah, they both were looking... Lubu got what he wanted to die. Thor was bored and wanted to find someone that was worthy of him fighting, and he did, because even after Lubu broke his legs, his horse came, picked him up, and became his legs.
So anyway, I just wanted to add that fight, by the end of it, I was like, okay, it made me optimistic for the next fights in the series.
Because Lubu was a neat character, and then you rolled right into Zeus, who we met, who was that frail old man, versus Adam, human number 1.
I was like, how in the hell is he going
I'm glad you had that thought.
How can they even write this that Adam could even be remotely capable of defending himself against
So
Zeus?
Cool how they did it, though.
And it was. Because he's a spitting image of the gods.
He is a god.
Oh, man, it was incredible.
So cool how they twisted. And that is probably the fight. I was like, it lasted, it was, obviously each fight was about 3 or 4 episodes, give or take, depending with the backstories and stuff like that. Cool how they did him. We knew he looked like a weak, frail human. And he was able to copy moves, copy Zeus. Zeus got huge, then small. It was just the cool story was built
And again,
up.
that fight was just really good.
Another fight that was good.
Yeah.
And then I was sad that they were only squeezing 3 into season 1.
But if it means they actually tell a story around them, fine.
Right. And
Fine.
and that's what it is. So if you're looking for fighting, it's not 100%. This isn't fight. This is you have fighting with some backstory and some story building. Yep. And I thought that it was done great.
If it's going to be how you tell your story, you need the backstory interjected with the fighting. So it needed to be told that way
Right.
in order for me to have liked it at all. So,
Yep.
and I feel like they did a pretty good job. I really do.
Yeah. So the third fight was Kojiro Sasaki, the greatest loser
I'm
of
probably
all
butchering
time.
that name too.
Yeah, I apologize.
And when we were going into this versus him against Poseidon, I was already like, okay, there were 2 really good fights in a row. They weren't going to end on one that
Humanity
was going to
lost.
Yeah. And both fights.
Yep.
That was important to add.
So then I thought that this is nothing going to be watch humans get beat down by gods. And then you're telling me the human victor is supposed to be the greatest loser?
I was worried that it wasn't even going to be as good as the first 2. So
Okay.
I was worried that the story wasn't going to be as good. And it started out, and I was like, I don't know, he's like the greatest loser, so he's already going to lose.
Yep.
But damn it, he was the only one to actually win his fight, and it was incredible.
Because in defeat, you get your greatest knowledge.
Exactly.
You learn what to not do
Yep.
and how to beat that. And what he did was he dreamed every day and practiced and ran it. And in the beginning of the fight with Poseidon, he's running the fight in his head.
Died 1,000 times in his mind before he found one
Can't
entry
do that.
point to
Can't
fight
do
him.
this. They all the humans did have powered weapons, which I thought obviously they needed something.
And Valkyries were like their souls were powering
Brunhild.
them. And that was a really good way of like
So cool.
showing how they could actually go on par with gods.
Yeah.
The Valkyries gave them their power.
They can fight. They
Man.
just need the equalizer.
Now everyone says the animation in this show is the weak part, and
It's still
granted,
frames with music and words.
it's not great. It really isn't great. But I looked past it because I was invested in the stories they were
Yeah.
telling, and everyone's like, "Well, then read the manga because it's so good." I
I
actually
might read it then.
'Cause-
If that's
everyone says if you like the anime,
okay.
read the manga and you'll realize how shit the anime is. But I did not
I'd still
think it was
watch
shit. I really
And
did.
I'm gonna have a confession time. I watched it dubbed.
Hey, you know what? If that makes you happy, man. If that made you happy, I'm not hating.
But
I watched it. So.
other cool things in this, I just wanted to come to light because really, if the animation wasn't 100% the best thing ever, they really took their time. In every fight, the audience changed to
That
their
time period.
people.
Yep.
And I
noticed that too.
I didn't notice that until the end of the last episode where Jack the Ripper shows up.
Against Hercules. How in the hell is he going to
Where
fight him?
that's season 2. It's coming, guys. It
Yeah.
was approved, but it was his audience now had all those the bowler hats, the mustaches. They looked like they were from them time. In the Adam fight, Adam and his family were there. It was just that was really neat. The song at the end credits, I liked it.
Okay.
I was a fan of that. Like honestly, there was not much music going on in through there. All the
intro
fighting
was pretty good too, actually.
I thought the end though, I was like, man, I could be Ryan and listen to this in my car.
Oh yeah.
But,
one
you
day
know-
you're going to do it. One day.
All in all, Record of Ragnarok, definitely worth a watch on Netflix.
I went into it with zero expectations,
Yeah.
and I was pleasantly surprised.
So, I mean, give it a watch. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments below, but now we're going to give you our thoughts on the whole thing.
Yep.
Time to tier rate it. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
we're on board usually.
Yeah, so far so
I'm
good.
seeing that.
We're rating pretty good.
Yeah, I think a B because I was pleasantly surprised, and if I would have rated a C, I wouldn't have been excited to keep going.
Right,
It would have
exactly.
I would have been finishing it just to finish it.
So this is how I rated it. Why it's a B to me is did I enjoy it more than He-Man Masters of the Universe?
I mean,
Yes.
Yes.
Yes was the answer there.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for the first thing I did when I finished season 1 was to see if there's a season 2 on the way. And there is. It got renewed. We're assuming that it's coming out in summer of 2022 because this one came out in June. So definitely a solid B for me.
Yeah.
If you're looking at it for that art and that blow your mind kind of stuff, not necessarily the right one to do.
not gonna be it.
But storytelling with a side of fight and just a neat concept at the end.
basically, if you like Dragon Ball Z, because you like the fight scenes, except you didn't want like 400 episodes of exposition. It's just, this is, you just get it in a much smaller package.
Yeah.
And the fight scenes were pretty good, man. I gotta be honest.
Definitely, and enjoyed it subbed, enjoyed it dubbed.
Yeah. So
whatever your
preference.
fancy.
Yep. Yeah. So that was Record of Ragnarok. Comment, like, subscribe. Let us know what fight was your favorite. If I had to pick, it would have definitely been Zeus and Adam.
Ooh, I would definitely. I'm gonna have to pick Zeus and Adam as well.
Okay.
I thought that was just a neat. It was to me it was the peak of the mountain, because Zeus is the god of gods, the OG. And then you
might
can
have something to say about that.
Right. Yeah. And then Adam, literally the OG of humans, and what they did with him, I think, was just neat. They had the serpent. The story they told with him was just so cool.
Yeah.
With the whole, Adam and Eve and his sons and the serpent and the
when
court.
Adam went into the court and literally just shat on all the gods.
Bit an apple, spit it out. Bit an apple, spit it out. Bitter. And it was just, they really did a good job, and I definitely am excited for season 2.
Yeah, me too. So that was Record of Ragnarok. Guys, as always, like, comment, subscribe if you like what we're doing around here. We'll see you in the next video.